Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here. Coming back at you yet again after a little bit of an episode known as one guy walking into a knife fight and the other guy having, like, basically a banana. Okay. All right, sound guy. We know things were going to be a little bit, well... Okay, yeah, that was literally the whole time where you had J.D. Vance kind of dancing around, and the whole time that, Waltz was like, and truly it was just,
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh, we knew when Tim Pond, Waltz walked in there.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Oh, big time. Yeah, it was not even funny how bad that yeah, that's screaming Mimi yeah, sound guy. Enough with the knife stab, okay? We knew when he went in there, it was going to be utterly just, yeah, it was just bad, really, really bad. How bad could you say it was? It was so screwed that pretty much we knew he was stepping into a big old pile of sound guy. Okay, well, Joe. Thank you. Joe Kaka has now pretty much been rendered moot, and really, truly, he is going and showing he's not even really present anymore, but the running mate that potentially could be running with Camel Toe. Wow. Yeah. Patriot Fever, Kamala's interview with horn dog Howard Stern. I didn't see that, but I did hear about it. And I got to tell you, it is daunting to have Howard Stern doing his, well, Robin, I think I was listening to Sean Hannity earlier, and he was actually expressing something I thought was kind of akin to what I was thinking. Howard Stern used to be like very libertarian, very kind of like, anti-establishment. Now he's just kind of, he's kind of suck up. He's kind of attained, okay, yeah, he's attained caca status. I mean, really, he just kind of just, yeah, he pretty much marches along with the rest of the leftist ideologues, we say, and truly he's shown nothing as him standing out. And apart from those guys, other than pretty much he is just doing their say-so. Truthfully, I've seen nothing really stand out about the guy that really is demonstratively all that different than any of the other leftard news guys expressing themselves in any way, shape, or form, just to simply say, yep, we're for it. We're all for it. And truthfully, he's done nothing all that demonstratively different. And then, of course, it just seems like every time you see Kamala stepping out and trying to say something that, would be just illustrative, it just really just...
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Yeah, it's just...
Help! I think I'm melting.
Yeah, it's just really not pretty. Because anytime you see her on the interviews, it's always a case of... well, and then the world salad happens, and then
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
yeah, it's just not 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 good. So anyway, we see ourselves basically dealing with the fact that the vice president thing was beyond hilarious to see just how badly that Waltz walked into it, how horrifically it came out to be him trying to state himself as, oh yeah, I'm the everyman, I can this, that, and the other thing, and you'll see me standing out and away from all these other guys being somebody completely different. Yeah. Oh wow, man. Um, I saw a picture posted up, and I'm going to be a little bit insensitive here. And this is switching subjects a little bit, but they're going on about Pamela Anderson at age 57 is declared the world's most beautiful woman in the world after going to a makeup free at a film festival. Uh, I gotta say, man, if hepatitis and banging Tommy Lee had a face, wow. I mean, she looks okay for 57, but not compared to the way she looked at like age 20. Okay, excuse me one second here. I got Tiggy juice. There's a really insensitive statement they've made about like air quotes, pretty women. Is the insensitive comment is they say they die twice. Once when they lose their looks, and once when they finally stop breathing and attain room temperature. Wow. Picture of Eva. Roast waltz duck flambe. Wow. Yeah, Pedro Fever. I'm not taking that sauce comment out of the room, but I got to tell you what, man. There's sometimes when you have these cause celeb peoples who always put themselves out there as like, oh yeah, I'm one of the pretty people. I'm one of the the anointed, and the age catches up with them, and yipes, it is so sincerely not pretty when nature takes over. Uh, Now I've seen these guys in Pittsburgh, and they've been making inroads into my local area of Baltimore, Maryland. But the guys known as Primanti, they are a Pittsburgh staple, and they're known for like the truck stop sandwich. I forget what they call it, but it literally is like they pretty much just take like a basic sandwich, they put French fries on it and coleslaw on it, and it becomes this one big monstrous, try to wrap your jaws around it kind of a thing. And they're trying to make inroads into Baltimore and other areas. Slight problem. In their infinite wisdom, their manager at one of their locations basically barred JD Vance from entering in. So JD, being the class act that he is, was like, okay, fine. You guys don't want me in here. I won't come in here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do in, respect to this. I'll pay for everybody's meal. And that's literally what he did. Well, the problem is I've said this many times. When you go political, DEI or, any way woke or, expressing, hard one right or left, potentially you have an opportunity to piss off at least 50% of the population of these United States. So the chick that supposedly barred Trump from entry had some kind of confusion, or she didn't know, and that's crap. Anytime that they're going to do some, get together like this, the Secret Service does an advanced group. Those guys do a basic look over. They tell everybody in the place, look, anybody that has foreign nationality and you're not an American citizen, you're going to stay home for that day. Okay. Literally, you're not coming in that day. And everybody that's an American citizen, we're going to give you basic clearance. We're going to do a background check on you. What's your name? Let's see your driver's license, blah, blah, blah. And they do an advanced check on these people. So for them to say, the manager, I believe it was like, oh, I didn't know the Secret Service was coming in here with JD Vance. This is too much. We couldn't handle the crowd. That's absolute balderdash and horse pucky. And I'm sorry to curse and use such strong words there. Just give me 1 second here. There's no way in the world that they would not know that JD Vance was coming in and doing a, hey, how you doing? Let me shake your hand, get together kind of a thing. That is absolute puck. And I do mean large stinking piles of horse puck, buffalo chips and and the like. They knew he was coming. This manager took it upon herself to bar the Secret Service and J.D. Vance from entering the establishment. Needless to say, I've heard later on in news stories, I believe it's been well established, she got the old heave ho. She actually met the Spanish archer, elbow, like out the door, like we're not dealing with your crap anymore. You made us look horrible, pissed off 50% of the population. And if nothing else, the Primanti brothers guys are now facing a boycott after barring JD Vance from an approved campaign stop in Pennsylvania. Oops, oops, oops. Nice move, X-Lax. Wow. There's a definite Democrat pucker factor that's taking place, and it is counting down as we watch, mostly because it is showing that Kamala's numbers are not doing so good. So taking this article in from the Patriot Journal. So they say essentially from Fox News, the Democrat edge in vote-in mail requests has shrunk significantly in Florida, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Now, I would say most assuredly, anybody that's in Pennsylvania and that's looking down Milton coming at them, they're like, you know what? Let's get this thing in the mail post haste. So the mail-in ballots, I would think, in Florida flooded in before the Tornado 1 and Tornado 2 come cruising in. Patriot Fever's Trump's election to lose at this point. I don't see him doing anything too particularly stupid because, okay, it's like all those whole things were like, yeah, well, she had to prove herself. Trump had to prove himself. Trump had to prove himself. Trump is a known quantity, okay? I think it was J.D. Vance to come out and say, he's either putting one out the ballpark or it's going to be something really ridiculous. And it's going to be literally pretty much it was going to be J.D. Vance's one to put out of the park. Why were you playing the horse whiny? That made no sense, sound guy. Ew. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what. Okay, I got it now. The horse face manager in Primanti is getting special treatment, special treatment, and extra sauce. Sure. Okay, I think that particularly the Primanti guys are giving her special sauce. Jane, you ignorant. Okay, I got it, sound guy. We can stop now, all right? Wow.
You're in violation of the 3 laws.
My logic is undeniable.
Oh, gee, sound guy. Okay, and obviously he's playing Vicky from iRobot on that one. Thanks, sound guy. Appreciate the input. Yeah, I think guillotine noises. Okay, yeah, I think she got the chop. Well, she did get fired, from what I understand. So anyway, that's looking really interesting now. Supposedly, North Carolina, Pennsylvania recorded data by Decision Desk HQ, signaling a shift in voter habits that have defined the last 2 elections, according to the data. The Democrat lead-in vote by mail requests have shrunk by 5% in Florida, 15% in North Carolina, and over 35% in Pennsylvania. Wow. Florida is really, really red. So let's break that down. In Florida, where Democrats have solid advantage, Democrats used to have a solid advantage. Their lead is narrowed and dropped by more than 5%. North Carolina gap is narrowed by a whopping 15%. And in Pennsylvania, arguably the most critical swing state of all, Democrat leading the state by the vote by mail request has plummeted over 35%. Those numbers are big deal, and they're a big deal. Huge, folks. So mail-in votes, why is this such a big deal? So mail-in votes have always favored Democrats. It's their bread and butter. The fact that Republicans are now closing the gap means that Trump's campaign is getting really smart about how they've approached early voting. Instead of shunning mail-in ballots, they've embraced them, and it's starting to pay off. Now, those numbers, of course, need to be posted up. We don't have a final verdict yet. Obviously, we have another 30 some odd days before we do the election process. So remember, vote early, vote often. The election day for Republicans is November 5th. The Republicans are voting on that day. Democrats, your voting day is November 6th. Remember, November 6th is your voting day. Oh, Patriot Fever. Another sauce comment. Oh, man. Zach, appreciate you coming in and hanging out with me tonight. Got some other, got a couple people in the room hanging out with me and doing fairly spicy comments. So if you guys really want to get the whole gist of how the show is going, you need to log into the chat room, even if you're just lurking and watching.
Why? It's spicy.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Why? It's spicy.
It's Spicy Joe Kaka. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Try that again, sound guy.
Why? It's spicy.
Okay, not bad, not bad. I'll allow that. It's Spicy Kaka. Yeah, that wasn't so terrible. Okay, I'll allow the ding. You actually caught that one on the fly. That was not bad. Okay. Sound guy, stop that. Stop. Okay. Stop.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
Yippee-ki-yay, mother. Yeah, thanks. Sound guy. Okay. I got what you're saying here. Someone was knocking at the door. Right. And then obviously they got a little bit of, well... Yeah, that's called a little bit of a truth hit for those people who aren't following along. Sound guy was saying essentially, the early voting is going to be a bite in the bag. Okay, yeah, I got that. Sound guy. I got that part. Thank you. Okay. No. Stop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like dive, like you're getting the alert now. Stop. Okay. Stop.
My biscuits are burning!
Your biscuits are not burning. Stop that. All right. Scrolly. Let's see what we got for the news stories. Elon Musk has been unbelievably supportive during this time. Of course, everything going completely, absolutely chest parts up, as it were. It's up. Add a T in front of that. It's up. And he's put the Starlink situation in place where people can use the internet for contact and obviously, their verification purposes, ordering stuff, confirming to, loved ones that they're okay. And he stepped up and said, you know what, for 30 days, Starlink will be available to these affected areas on me. Oh, no, don't. Oh, man, he saw that in the chat room. Don't, sound guy. Yeah. I told you don't put stuff in the chat room. Don't put stuff in the chat room. Why? Somebody put in there, wait till he gets into the monkey files.
Come on, squeal. Come on, squeal, squeal.
Sound guy. That was just really, yeah, that exactly. It was that. It was that. You got to be really careful what you put in the room, man. You put stuff in the chat room, and no, you do not get a ding for all that monkey stuff. Literally, that monkey stuff. No, 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 no. Exactly. You are starting to head directly into, well, that place, okay? You're going straight to, well, you know, and I know, you're going straight to the,
No-no zone.
yeah, you're going straight to the no-no zone, okay? Stop that, okay?
I say we take off and nuke the entire
No-no zone.
from orbit.
Sound guy. I'm going to say,
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No.
okay, that one I'll allow. That one was on point. The nose, yeah, no, no, no way, not doing it. No, no, on point. That one was on point. Okay.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yes, this massively overarching just explosion sound effect, and my EQ meters are going, bouncing off the pins on the red. just they're just literally just the EQs are like +5, +10. Oh man. Yeah, and the ding is about like, about a -3 or 4. That explosion just goes whoop. It just pins the EQ meters like all the way over. Holy crap, man. There's a lot of studio stuff that goes in here that obviously most people don't know about, but when we get into the sound booth and we start working these things through, sometimes trying to keep like, everything on the same level can be really hard. I mean, because you're talking like, obviously, I'm pulling sound files from other places and I'm generating sound files and I'm tacking them all together, and sound guys tacking them all together. We're trying to say, okay, where are we in terms of like, voice level to sound level to, does one like blow each other out, or is one kind of like, so just like, you could barely hear it, or it's just kind of like, really just like ethereal and kind of almost just right there, as opposed to something that's like really profoundly just banging the glass out of the monitors. Yeah, you got to watch out for that kind of stuff, because sometimes you could really just no, it's not dog bites. Stop that. No, it's something that's just entirely just way too just sound guy. No, it's not meow, okay? It isn't, all right? Sound guy. No, it could be completely said that sometimes the sound level could be it's not bull meow. Oh, jeez. Okay, we're trying to get like a certain level therein of, the voice level is one level. Maybe the sound is maybe just a little bit over that, but it's not over peaking, and just completely just sound guy. No, it's not that. I'm trying to get something that doesn't sound like Right. We're trying to get something that doesn't sound like bull meow or bull splat. Thank you very much, sound guy. Thank you, sir.
This is my boomstick.
No, that sounded like, yeah, exactly. That really sounded like that. Okay. All right, stop with all the just secondary whatever that is. Scroll. Obviously, you guys saw all the vice president going back and forth. Vice president this, vice president that. At one point during the going back and forth, I said, you know what? I actually put this up on Facebook saying we need a drinking game. Every time Walt says, "Look," you got to take a shot. I think at the end of that debate, you would have been so wrecked. Every time Walt said, "Look." I mean, I think he's kind of has like these brain farts, almost like, where Biden does the, come on, man. It's kind of almost one of those things where it's like hey, look, I'm trying to blah, 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 which maybe worked when you're, a senior non-com in the army. But as a civilian, look, I'm trying to, actually, if you're going to do it right, look, and you got to give him the knife hand. I'm trying to show you this, that, and the other thing. And blah, blah, there's that's a school of thought that you're taught in the military. You don't point. You use the knife hand. Look, I'm trying to show you people that this, that, and the other thing. And da, 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 da. You use the knife hand because this doesn't show up nearly as well as this. Crowder had a hell of a drinking game. I will say that, Patriot Fever says. Yeah, he did sound a little off target there, Patriot Fever. Kind of sounds like he struck the the steel background out of the rather than the target face. Scrolly. I did also say that the optics of Walt's trying not to freak out to the eye bulging, crapping kitten expressions was like utterly epic to watch. He literally looked like he really should have been taking some high blood pressure meds before he got on stage because he was like. Some points, it's like they describe like when somebody shows surprise, they show the three sides of the eyes. They're wide open, bug-eyed, kind of. I mean, their eyes are literally so wide open that you see three sides of their eyes. And a lot of that debate, he was. I got no other way to explain him. He just looked like he was like severely amped up and really insecure, trying to counter a lot of stuff and throwing probably well-tutored, practiced debate practice. He really looked over-practiced, to tell you the truth. And when he needed to actually pivot and actually respond to things naturally, it wasn't natural. If anything, Vance looked more relaxed. He was kind of like, yeah, obviously, if we were to do that, yes, I could agree with you. That's something that we do need to do. And it was actually kind of like Vance seemed to be more just natural. Walt seemed to be very like, almost robotic. It was very strange. Patriot Fever. Oh, excrement. Oh, excrement. Oh, excrement. Oh, excrement. Oh, excrement. Yeah, that's about as clean as we could put it because he looked like he was really just kind of. Okay, thanks for that one, sound guy. It was, yeah. I think at some point he looked like he was really ready about to just. Oh, yeah. Crap and fall over. Okay. Yeah.
And thing sucks.
Sure. Okay. Well, anyway, I did see at some points he was really looking seriously uncomfortable, and he looked like he was about ready to just big time. just completely not doing well. Hey, he told the jokes. Hey, thanks, sound guy. What are you doing? No, stop. JD Vance just seemed to be more relaxed. He seemed to be ready to just sound guy. No, JD Vance did not look ready to just no. He did not look ready to. Oh, jeez. No, he did not. No. He did not look ready to just. Oh, no. That I did not need to know about. Yuck. No. Oh, jeez. Well, he's not Catholic. Okay. I'm not even going there, sound guy. There's a lot of things that you're putting out there I'm not even gonna do, okay? Well, maybe that came later after the the whole after all of that one. Yeah, you're being a little naughty. On this episode of Dude After Dark, we can listen to Sound Guy being expressly naughty in bedroom activities. Tune in next week to watch him putting out something on there that really probably shouldn't be put on air in one of my podcasts, and we'll talk about this later. Yeah, bad boys. Well, bad sound guy. Anyway, what? Why are you playing Average White Band? Oh, got it. Pick Up the Pieces. That's the title of this. Oh, you want to leave it as background music? Oh, okay. I got it now. I got way too many memes to go through here. Okay, can we stop this, please? Yeah, as much as I really like this song, it kind of doesn't hold true. Can we turn it off, please? Thank you. Okay. I think he was trying to say segue into moving past all the memes that dude has posted up. Pick up the pieces. He's a turd sometimes, man. He really, really is. Anyway, this one's coming in very, very interestingly, and it's kind of one of those tertiary and not admitting it while still saying, well, maybe this is the possible problem. Because we're going to be talking about the well, the whole thing, sound guy. The whole thing.
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
That's right. And this time we don't have to worry about
fact check.
Nope, there is no worry about fact check. Anyway, if you guys went out and you got the jab, also known as the the okay, if you went out and got yourself the jab and you're now dealing with the after effects, just give me a second here. I just got to check on something. This is kind of work related. Hold I don't know if I want that one. So work pops up sometimes where I have like opportunities to look at reserve trips, and sometimes they'll pop up and they seem kind of cool, but I really truly don't want to stay out that late. So that's sometimes where I just go, it's not worth it. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about people dealing with the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. That was a long way to go around. But anyway, so they're now admitting kind of that there is issues with COVID concerning myocarditis, or basically inflammation of the heart. And it is one of those things that kind of comes out to play, and it cannot be really diminished enough to say how bad this stuff is for some people. But anyway, so there's now a news story, and I actually posted this up from yahoo.com, one of my rarely sourced news sources, but it is secondarily sourcing from another news agency. They tend to do that quite a lot. But anyway, the way, shape, and form in which they find ourselves is the news story is finding out that, well, it's possible that COVID is the one impacting younger people and giving them myocarditis. Then notice they are not admitting it was the the
shot.
Yeah, and we don't have to worry about being
Fact check.
Nope. So we're talking about the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. Shot.
All right. So anyway, those people who got
shot.
Sound guy, stop. Anyway, those people who got the clot shot, they're now saying that, well, it's because of COVID. Well, in that notice, I've said, wonder if it's from COVID or is it from the shot to negate COVID. Note, I've had open heart surgery and I did a quadruple bypass. I've had COVID 3 times, at least, possibly more, and I have never gotten the clot shot. I just recently had the blood work done, and my stats are almost normal baseline. Just give me 1 second here. Obviously, your LDL is a little elevated. I'm actually taking, a statin drug. I'm actually taking a statin, very low dose. Also, they say, well, you're potentially your triglycerides are a little high. Well, maybe it's because I fasted before I got the blood work done. Everything was kind of a little bit, weird normally, abnormally weird. Anyway, so they basically did the blood work on me. My baseline numbers are fine. I mean, I'm not even concerned about them in the slightest. My blood pressure is good. But I'm moderating, all the important stuff fairly well. Rock and roll. But anyway, so they say in this story, oh yeah, all my stuff is good and all the rest of that stuff. I wonder why. Oh, it's because I never got the F. Chuck Todd shot. COVID may have fueled a further increase in premature heart attacks. We now know that COVID-19 can cause damage to the heart and the cardiovascular system, in some cases causing a dangerous form of heart inflammation called myocarditis, as well as attacking the lungs. Severe infections are relatively rare among young people. That's not true. But when they happen, it's often the young adults with risk factors for heart attacks, including obesity, says a person named Moran. Quote, the virus's effect on heart muscle has led to acute cardiovascular events related to COVID, he explains. No, I don't see that as happening because a lot of people have had COVID and they didn't have heart attacks. So during the first 2 years of the COVID pandemic, there was 30% more heart attack deaths than would be expected among people between the ages of 25 to 44, one study found. Another study estimated that 4 out of every 100 people in the U.S. develop some form of heart-related symptom in a year after they recover from COVID. Now, correspondingly, how many people, and they don't even state this in the article, how many people got the clot shot? They don't state that. They simply say, well, it's because they had COVID and they've been exposed to COVID, or those people who are, latent COVID carriers but never express symptoms. they're now suffering all this heart trauma. Yeah, they don't even get into the facts that, well, some people really have crap diets. They eat too much of this just not good fat for you, high fructose corn syrup, over processed GMO food, other crap that's just completely bad for you, but yet it was COVID, not the COVID shot. I find it very interesting that they say one might have something to do with the other, but not the whole picture they're in when they bring everything into it and say potentially there's another attitude adjustment thing going on that potentially everybody should probably know about. Well, if you got other vectors going on, you should be doing more than just one study stated. Because one study just simply says this group of people agree that this is potentially a blah, blah, blah with their research numbers. And sometimes one study can wipe out another study, or a later study goes, yeah, that first study didn't have good information. It just didn't do it right. Excuse me, I got Tiggy juice. Oh, Patriot Fever's putting some cute stuff in the chat room. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but one of the towns in Florida suspended gun rights for sales of ammunition and firearms, and supposedly both apologized and realized that they considered that oopsie, and they apologized. Well, I got bad news for you. You didn't mean to deny anybody's constitutional rights, but you did. So both the police chief and the mayor and anybody associated with this needs to be fired and run out of town. Supposedly, the story is the guy was just signing off pieces of paperwork, and this piece of paper blopped in there and was like, "Oh yeah, no gun sales during bad weather times." Bloop. Yeah. But during last week during Hurricane Helene, the city of Okeechobee banned the sale, display, or carrying of firearms and ammunition during the state of emergency. The notice of this ban went viral, with many of them shared what they believed to be an unconstitutional order, which it was. They refer to Florida sometimes as the gun shine state. Not just the sunshine, but the gun shine state. It is very easy to get a carry permit in the state of Florida. If you are Joe Blow, average law-abiding citizen, it is dead easy to get a carry permit. So the answers are the mayor, the city council, and the sheriff signed the order. The Florida State Director, Louis Valdez, traveled to Okeechobee to speak with all the concerned parties. Police Chief Donald C. Hagen II did try to suspend gun rights during a hurricane, but now he's claiming it was a misunderstanding and a mistake. The mayor and the city council are now on record stating it was just a mix-up. Yeah, no, it was not. The GOA got these guys on mic to actually admit and apologize. So, yeah, GOA's Florida State Director spoke directly to the mayor and police chief. Both profusely apologized for what happened and said they never intended to violate anyone's Second Amendment rights. But you did. You did. Every single occasion of you violating somebody's constitutional rights means you should be kicked out to the curb. You need to get your ass handed to you in no uncertain terms. You need to get more than a little bit of yeah, because when you walk in there and you look at the paperwork and go, oh,
sounds like somebody's got a case of the Munders.
Yeah, you need to get bent over and you need to get treated like
But I pooped from there.
Oh, you really need to get handed the big old pile of no, you need to be getting removed from such, because you are that guy that pretty much you crashed and burned right into the Constitution, and you, sir, ma'am, whomever, need to get booted out of that position before you can ever do that again. Apologizing just means, oops, I got caught. Oh, geez, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that pile of sound guy. Now would be a really good time to hit the proper sound effect for a change, please. Yeah, that screaming pile of yeah, they need to just be unceremoniously No, sound guy. No, sound guy. No. No. Sound guy. No, they need to be fired. Not. Okay, and if you really want to make it hurt, make it so that it's financially painful for them to get it. And
But I pooped from there.
what are you saying? Like basically, you're aiming at the starfish or something. Jeez. Anyway, I think he really wanted to just bend them over and give him the old heave ho. Oh, I'm sure. Anyway, so they basically said they had a stack of paperwork on there. The guy accidentally signed it, and he admitted the buck stops with me. I'm the guy that did it. Dude, you should be walking the street job hunting right now. You and the mayor, both of you, denying somebody's constitutional liberties. Wow. Here's a news story for you. Determined Dem declares daunting debt denial, demands dedicated decision. In short, Jimmy Carter flipped 100, and he wants to be around to vote for Kamala. And my statement is, in short, the mostly dead old poop wants to vote for the skank and her pet valor thief. That was me stating that. But he says he wants to be around to vote for Kamala. He's barely functioning, guys and ladies. He's barely functioning. Wow. I mean, if you could prop him up and he just kind of goes, that one. That's him doing his free will. Scrolls goes says, Scrolly, I don't know if you're concerned about this or not, but supposedly one of these days, last couple weeks ago, I think it was, but maybe a week ago. So somebody went to the Bank of America and they were like, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, beep. At the ATM, burp, balance, 0, zip, 0, nada, nick, 9, nothing. And they were like, wait a minute, I had X amount of money in there. So they then admitted that they had a glitch. They then admitted, oops, sorry, you got all your money back. I put on here on my statement of fact, I said simply this: my free financial advice: transfer or remove all of your money from the Bank of America. Do not deal with them ever again. And some of my friends' comments in there was actually quite interesting. Like one of my friends said, yeah, I did that after January 6th. Obviously, he made some kind of political statement. And a lot of my friends have either liked that comment or they've made comments about it. I tend to think a lot of people really, truly have no great love or trust now for the Bank of America. I stopped using them years ago. If you look them up on the Better Business Bureau website, they have an absolutely horrendous corporate history with their people. Absolutely horrendous. So the whole thing about the hurricane areas and them saying that they're going to give them $750 that's come out. What's happened to all that money? The bald-faced lies about, oh yeah, well, we can support all this stuff. FEMA supposedly spent $1 billion on illegals, and it has no money left to deal with any problems, any natural disasters, or anything along those lines. And they screwed those people in the Carolinas, those people in Florida, those people in all the other affected areas between Hurricane Helene, and now we're going to have Milton going in there to give a second swipe. Wow. Absolutely horrendously bad juju. Speaking of other horrendously bad juju, I got to pull this out the bag and I will show it to you. And I'm not going to worry about it because, well, it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work. This one is one of those kind of really obnoxious things that I have done forever. And it's just one of my ways of doing things. And I've made sure I've always done it. Now, Mrs. Dude doesn't use a stylus phone. I do. I got a Note 9. You can see the stylus right there. And it is a working smartphone. Mrs. Dude did not want a Note 9. She didn't want a stylus phone. She went with your classic, well, they call it candy bar. So it has basically, the same rough kind of floor plate on the bottom. Obviously, it doesn't have a stylus slot, but it does have a USB-C, and it does have a slot for a 1/8 phono jack. So that's cool. The Note 10, and this is a 10 Plus. So literally what that means is it's bigger screen. Downside and druthers. Samsung, in all their infinite wisdom, put out a update on the OS that was downloaded automatically, making the phone go into what's called boot looping. Boot looping is when the phone is trying to start or it's booting up and it goes to a certain line in the program and goes, crash. And it just keeps doing that over and over and over and over. It does not go to a start menu, does not go to any functionality, and it's stuck. Now, when they did the update, Mrs. Dude was asleep. The phone was on the table beside her. She wakes up and the thing's just going, it's like, what the hell's wrong with the phone? Flips it over and looking at it, and it's just either doing gibberish or nothing. And the thing got unbelievably hot. Now, anytime anybody services one of these phones, they're waterproof. And it's like IPSC, whatever it is, rating is like, I think it's 1.5 meters for like 30 minutes or something. You should not ever, ever, ever be able to do this. You should not be able to do that. Ever. It should be a hermetic seal where the back is literally glued on there, and you need to take the phone, put it on a hot plate, and I forget what the exact temperature is, but it's a hot plate. You put it on there for a couple minutes, it softens up the glue, then you take those big guitar pick looking things and you get it in between the glass and in between the phone body, and you run it around and you pop it loose from the chassis. Now, this is what's known as a glass back and a glass front phone. My Note's a glass back, glass front phone. So literally it's a Gorilla Glass front and a not quite Gorilla Glass rear. And there's either a titanium or a plastic, or in this case, stainless steel chassis in between the two layers of glass. So that's the sandwich. It's like an Oreo sandwich. You got glass, phone, glass. Now, glued together like that, it should never do that, but it got so bleeding hot that it literally lifted the glass from itself with sheer heat level. Well, Mrs. Dude is a pretty smart cookie. And she's like, okay, this thing's getting really, really hot. I do not want the battery to just go kablooey. So I got home from work, early morning, walked over to the fridge, opened it up, was doing something. I think I was getting cat food or something. And I see her phone sitting in the fridge. It's like, oh, this is not good. So she messaged me on Facebook, phone is in the fridge. And I found out later on what happened, talking to a phone service guy. We were texting back and forth using one of my phones, obviously, but texting back and forth. He said what happened was Samsung did an update and kablooied all the phones in the S10 family. Now, I've heard that the CPU on these is a little bit and the heat level that this thing got, either the CPU got so hot that it literally lifted off of the little balls that hold it onto the circuit board and make it a full contact, or it got hot and it shifted so it lost contact. Well, the CPU might be cooked. That's one big problem. Right next to it is something called the NAND chip, or NAND. That's the chip that holds all the memory that you have in the phone that's not in the card, because this does have a card drawer, but all the memory that is in the phone is on the NAND chip. So if that got cooked and it basically got to the point where it's not doing it anymore, all the pictures and everything else that she had stored in here, all her personal information, all her apps, all her, login information, all that is gone. Now, there is Samsung service areas, and hopefully we can take it over there and have that done. The biggest problem is she dropped the phone. See that little chip right there? She dropped the phone. So I did take it apart to a certain comfort level, and I was like, that's about as far as I'm going to go. But I did verify that there was one of the water indicators said, yeah, I got water in here. I don't think that was the problem, though. I think the problem is Samsung did that update to the OS, and it went, kapow. So now it's a phone in the new form of transportation. It is a phone in a bag. Come on now, get in there. Yeah, phone in a bag. I got to take it over to the service place. Hopefully they can jack into this thing. The biggest thing is if we can get it to boot up, and I'm not putting great amount of credence on that one, but if we can get it to boot up, there's a trick that you can do with the Samsung phones is you tell phone A, talk to phone B, and go, take all your information and put it on this phone. So literally, I actually have 3 Note 9s. Mrs. Dude is rocking one of my spares. So literally what I did was I took the one phone, I cloned it off the other phone, and all that information that I truly needed to have is currently in the phone. Shared with, the rest stuff. This one is not quite as big. This one is the big guy. This is now what I jokingly refer to as the monster. I've showed this and I've talked about it numerous times, but it's a 512 phone with a 512 card. Well, luckily for Mrs. Dude, a lot of her stuff converted over from her S10 onto the card. So I put she had a really big card in her. She had a 512 card in a 128 gig phone. So a half a T in a, 1/10 of a T? So basically, hopefully most of her stuff is physically on the card. However, some of the OS and some of the actual, apps information doesn't transfer over because the phone goes, I don't need to store that. I simply just have it in my memory, and I'll just make it work every time. Well, sometimes it just don't happen. And if you people are rocking an S10, I can tell you this expressly from my own experience. Auto update on all of my phones is always, always, always either A, turned off, or having me validate, yes, confirm, and further the auto update to now be allowed to further into itself and update the system. Most times, I don't update anything. I really, truly just don't do that. As a matter of fact, the computer that I'm currently talking to you all on and doing the video on is a dino compared to, what most people have for like Windows devices. It is still a Windows Note. I'm sorry, Note. It's a Windows 7 64-bit. So it was a hot rod, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whatever it is. It was a hot rod back then. Now it's kind of hey, why are you still using that? Yeah, because I don't trust Win 10. I don't like Win 11, and everything else in between and all the points therein truly have not impressed me with all the new what's-its in AI. Not feeling it, not doing it anytime soon. Unit still works. Obviously, it's showing its age. I'm probably going to have to change out the classic spinning rust style of hard drive and put an SSD in here at some point. I don't know. Maybe I'll simply just put an external, hard drive on this thing and make the actual C drive simply just running the OS, which it can do. So that's another thing you could possibly do is exporting all the external memory to then be something that the computer can access rather than simply running the drive all the time. And that's the other thing too is I've never actually opened this thing up and blown the dust out of it. It's going to be daunting when I do. I'm sure it's going to be a cloud of nothing but like dust and cat hair. But yeah, that's one of those things I really, truly, I'm not looking forward to. But I think it's probably going to be one of those things I'm going to have to do before too terrible long. But it doesn't seem to be running very hot. And I do have like one of those apps that's a temperature gauge. I can keep an eye on CPU and stuff like that. And it never really seems to be that hot. So potentially I'm still doing okay. and good stuff along those lines. I guess I'm doing fine, and continue on thusly. So where are we at in terms of time? Oh, looking at just about the hour mark, so I'm going to break off of this one, folks. Appreciate your kind attention. You guys have many other things to do on a Tuesday. You guys decided to hang out with me, and I truly, truly appreciate your kind attention. You get a gold star for the attendance. Maybe 2 gold stars. I don't know. I'm maybe feeling special here because I skipped a week because of the Veep thing going on. But yeah, man. Samsung, you really screwed the pooch on this one. I think it might be a class action suit. It's bad. All right, folks, I'm going to break up this one. Eco Capital, as always, you know what, you love it. Thank you so much for your kind attention. I will catch you guys next week. Unless I put out something sooner, I will see you then. Catch you guys later. Have a good one, and I will see you guys later. Catch you guys.